The Far East Rand Hospital in Springs in Johannesburg has been accused of a whole range of serious issues, including the handling of decomposed bodies and how to hand it over to undertakers. Now, according to the City Press, patients and staff at the hospital have complained about unhygienic conditions that pose a serious threat to their health. Let's bring in the hospital's CEO, Sonwabo Lindani, joins us this morning. Great to see you, Sonwabo. And we're hoping to get some answers to these very serious issues that's been raised, including poor sanitation, infection control, and 7 nurses, or rather 4 nurses, assigned to a ward with 60 patients. Where shall we begin to look into these serious issues?
Good morning, Michelle. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm indeed Lindani, the CEO for Far East Rand Hospital. It did come to our attention that there was a media query regarding this. This was, I think we have responded on this, Michelle. So the allegations of patients or families being given rotten bodies, etc., we want to deny that categorically, Michelle, maybe with a little background. As a hospital, before COVID, we had a capacity of storing 50 bodies. COVID time came, it gave us an additional capacity of 39 fridges. And I can tell you that we have a contractor on site that has been appointed from April this year to March next year, that is servicing the fridges on a monthly basis. As I'm talking to you, out of the 89 fridges, I have 83 fridges that are fully functional. 6 fridges are down for repair, for statutory service by the contractor that is on site from now until March next year. So we don't have any issues of freezers that are not functioning, and we monitor them on a daily basis, twice a day. So at a given time, there is no time where we have more than 30 bodies in the hospital. So we hardly even use the capacity that we have of the freezers. So I can tell you that, Michelle, that I'm not sure where that story is coming from. And we have an open door policy. We receive complaints. We manage them when they come. We have engaged in a lot of employee value proposition programs to revive the spirit of the employees. So we don't have any issues as far as the hospital management, quality assurance, but we are monitoring everything as it happens. But as of now, I can state it categorically that as a hospital, we have no issues. We normally complain of DIT, which is responsible of maintenance. But on this particular issue, I have no complaints because the contractor is on site as of April this year going forward. In terms of infection control and hygiene, Michelle, I would like to invite you to the hospital because we are categorized and falling within Ekurhuleni district. So we're one of the facilities that we are recognized last year as the best in terms of hygiene and infection control. So if there are issues such as those, so that could be very interesting. We are very committed in continuous improvement all the time. Hence, we are busy renovating the hospital. One of the areas that we've renovated, Michelle, which is normally neglected in many places, it is our mortuary as a hospital. So I would really be delighted at one point if I can host you in this hospital.
Yes.
So take data for now, Michelle, and just there are some follow-up or additional clarifications.
So you're saying that the serious allegations that were brought to the attention of Health E-News by a patient who spent some time at the hospital, that they are untrue. Allegations that the ward 7 was packed with 60 patients, that there were 4 nurses to tend to a ward of 60 patients, which we know just logistically is impossible. The fact that showers in Ward 7 don't work because there are no taps, that the bathroom facilities are filthy, that there's no hot water. Are you saying that this account is false?
That is unfounded and very false. At some time last year, we had some blockages in that particular unit, which we sorted out, I think, around September, October last year. Blockages, they do happen because we do have patients that some of them are mentally ill. But as I'm talking to you at this particular point, we do Gimba walks as the executive. Last week, we're in that unit, we have Ward 6, which is a female medical, Ward 7, which is a male medical. Those are some of the units that came out very tops in our evaluations because we keep on doing self-assessments, which we do on a weekly basis for the purpose of improving the services in the hospital. That is actually not true. I can actually state, Michelle, that I think that happens in many facilities, that the inflows of patients are a lot, I think, in a lot of us as a public service, which is why, because as Far East Rand, we're a regional hospital, we don't have a district hospital that we can to that is nearer us. Which is why we have forged a relationship with Heidelberg District Hospital. That has started as of last month. So if it happens that some of our units, the medical unit space, are full for patients that don't necessarily need regional services. So those patients were able to move them to Heidelberg Hospital, which is normally not as optimally utilized as our hospital at Pfizer.
Yeah.
So those challenges, they were not brought to our attention. But by the way, even if they are not brought to our attention, because we do rounds on a daily basis, even today, my managers have been on the ground, which is a norm that we do here. In the case where there are many patients, maybe some staff members are not at work, if it happens, we do have services such as we call extra people that are coming from home to come and boost the workforce on the ground. But the staff shortage issues, as Firestrand Hospital, I can actually say we don't have issues such as those. The challenges that we have, normally we escalate them to head office, and normally we're assisted.
Yeah. You know, the response in the city press by Gauteng Health was that the department is aware of those problems, the problems as outlined to you in this interview as well, that Gauteng Health is aware of the problems at Far East Rand Hospital. So what was Gauteng Health talking about when they said that?
No, that's a very good one, Michelle. I really like it. I work very well with Gauteng Health because I did talk to Ntate Mudiba, who is our communication, our spokesperson of health, as you know. So all the information that they have, they got it from me because I was also with them sometime last week. In fact, there's a story by City Press that a week late because the media query came 2 weeks ago. So I think the expectation was for it to be covered that week. So it's kind of delayed when it's out this week. So that information that I head office is totally coherent with the information that I'm sharing with you. So, and we're investigating the source of this, Michelle, because we know that since particularly myself starting in this facility, I'm aware that there have been 2 stories in the past that were talking to mortuary issues in this hospital. That was before I was here, which is why, Michelle, my priority when starting in this hospital was mortuary, was one of my areas. The frontline areas, the pollution space in that area. So we have renovated the mortuary. It has been handed over to me towards the end of the last financial year. So as I'm talking to you now, I don't have issues such as those. So it would be interesting to know the sources of this information. By the way, I don't really mind about who said what. I want the facts so that because we're here and committed to deal and manage any issues that can be compromising the services that we want to give to our patients. Okay. We are here to serve our patients and we are here committed. There's nobody who called us to be here. We are here because we're willing and driven to serve and make a difference to our people. So the ones are fine. If there are challenges in any unit, we're here as management to deal with that. And head office, I must say, they are always by our side in supporting us.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. I mean, given just how much pressure Far East Rand Hospital is under on any given day, I mean, the hospital serves 22 clinics, I think the number is. It also serves 4 community healthcare centers as well. So it's fair to say that on any given day, the hospital faces a fair amount of pressure, right? What would you say are the challenges that arise just given the kind of pressure the hospital is under?
It is very true, Michelle, and I think your statistic is correct, which is why, Michelle, so for me, normally I say leadership, we have 2 functions that are primary. One of the functions is for us to prevent challenges, mitigate, ensure that the environment is conducive for production and delivery of quality service. Number 2, when the problems have happened, we are here as management, we're hired for that, to ensure that we mitigate and manage problems so that our staff are able to give quality services in an environment that is conducive, tools of production that are in place. So which is why we have lobbied Heidelberg District Hospital. We are working with them because the pressure areas, Michelle, to be honest with you, our communities are very sick. We can't then say we are full. Now people must not come here. We don't lock our gates because we're the government we're the hospital that serves our people. So what we do, the patients that are stable, but they're not fit to go home. So we down refer them we have an EMS arrangement for Ekurhuleni, EMS arrangement for Citibank, clinical management for Firestrand and Heidelberg. Then we do coordination. Those patients, we have got about 30 beds that have been given to us for decanting in Heidelberg, and thank you to the management of that hospital. So we're able to do that. We also work very well, Michelle, with the clinics. Last Friday, we're in one of the clinics that had just been opened by the MEC, Philip Moyo, There's an MOU site that has been just opened. It's beautiful. So we're there as management to meet their management so that we ensure that there's proper coordination between the hospitals and the clinics. Because one large challenge that we have, Michelle, is perception elements. Because a lot of things that patients they will come for in the hospital, they can actually get these services in the clinics. But there's this perception that you will get proper service when you're in the hospital, because I think it's largely based on the lack of knowledge, which is things that I think NHI, when it is fully implemented, it will address. So we are working very closely with the clinics around us. We are working very closely with the district hospital around us. We also have sister hospitals that are regionals around us here. We're also collaborating and working very well with those. The other area that is a bottleneck is management of your high care and your ICU patients. Last year, because I started here in January last year, so one of the things that we did with management was to add 4 additional beds for high care, because the ICU beds, definitely they are a bottleneck. I think you have seen, even during the COVID time. So it's through collaboration, it's through employee value propositions, ensuring that our employees are happy at work. The tools of production are in place. We have launched the I Serve with a Smile program as a hospital, which is why, Michelle, I'll be very interested to get these complaints because we want to manage them. We are getting a lot of compliments, rather. So which is why we're not allergic to complaints when they come. We'll manage them because we're dedicated. We are striving for excellence. We're not saying by any means we're perfect. But if there are gaps somewhere, somehow, can they be brought to us? We are here as management and committed to serve this community.
As I'm speaking to you this morning, Sonwabo, does your hospital have hot water?
It does. I have 2 boilers. Both of them, they are working. I have a coal boiler that is assisting me. I have a diesel boiler there, but at a given time, one is working. I have hot water as I'm talking to you.
So
in fact, I have... Okay, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I wanted to say one legacy thing that happened within a short stay here. There's something we call a Carol fire in the hospital. So at a home version, we can call that a geyser. So I bought 2 very expensive ones because the ones that were here were quite old. This hospital is 95 years old. I have 2 Carol fires that we bought last year. And I tell you, Michelle, for the coming 30 years to 40 years, this hospital will function with those Carol fires. So the hot water issues are not a problem for us at the hospital.
Sonwabo Lindani is the Far East Rand Hospital's CEO, refuting serious allegations in the city press around the functioning of his hospital. And I understand Sonwabo also opening up an invitation for us to go and visit and have a look for ourselves. And I think that is an invitation we will certainly take up. Thanks for joining us this morning.